I think this will work. Not really sure where to start this, but hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lily, and I am going to start by telling you a little bit about my project. So currently I am in my I just wrapped up my second year of university, and I've been thinking about this project for a long time. And I know I'm not the only one, because as I go on the internet and as I've been doing research, I keep finding other people who have had this idea before. But I'm in the position where I can do it. I haven't had like a full committed job. I don't have like a stable income or anything like that. So I can basically afford to just drop everything and try something new. And what I want to do is I want to set up greenhouses filled with fish tanks. And the reason I want to do this is for freshwater fish conservation efforts. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and saltwater fish get a lot of attention because they're pretty and they're shiny and they're very colorful and bright, and there's already a lot of attention around coral reefs. What's less interesting is the tiny brown fish that lives in the middle of nowhere whose habitat is being destroyed by pollution or cattle or building dams, things like that. And it's about this big, it's dark brown, not very interesting to look at, very fish-shaped. But those are the species I want to protect. And as of now, there are so many endangered freshwater fish species, which is unfortunate because we kind of need that biodiversity. So my plan is to set up land in Colorado and have two greenhouses. One would be filled with 150 gallons, 75 gallons, 300 gallons, and 20 gallons. And the other one will be filled with ponds. And the whole thing will have automatic water change systems, and I've been working on a digital database that pulls information from sources like FishBase and the IUCN and the CARES website in order to kind of compile all of the information that we have on these species into one place. And so the interesting thing about endangered freshwater fish species is that a lot of them are actually present in the hobby, which means that the conservation effort is almost entirely in the hands of the hobbyists. So in this tank here, these species aren't endangered. It's a couple of bikers, some ropefish, and a gold severum. But in the rest of these tanks, there's things like axolotls and white cloud minnows. And those, you might not realize it, but those are endangered in the wild, right? They're threatened. And so, obviously, these are domestic strains of axolotl. But the point is there. The point is that the hobby is keeping these species alive, and I think that's really cool. So what I want to do is get these species, breed them, research them, and once I reach the minimum threshold of a population size, start distributing them to other people in the hobby. And what that'll allow us to do is establish multiple smaller populations so that the species is no longer threatened, because if one population crashes, then there are still other populations that can help maintain genetic diversity. So where did it all start? My dad had a fish tank set up. I must have been 3 years old when he bought it, but it was a saltwater tank. Obviously, I liked sitting and looking at it, but I was sitting there and watching it before he ever put anything in the tank. I remember I would sit and watch the empty tank. I'd sit and watch when he put live rock in. I sit and watch once he added water, once he started adding crabs, corals, shrimp, fish, and then that's when the hobby really took hold. I told my dad, hey, I want my own fish tank. That looks really cool. So we went on Craigslist and I found a 26-gallon bow front. And that was my first tank. I did freshwater, and I never left freshwater because a lot of people just don't understand how beautiful freshwater fish can be. And obviously, I think I'm telling that to the wrong audience, because I think a lot of you already understand how beautiful they can be. But these fish are just amazing. There's so many different kinds. Everyone has different parameters. Like in this tank, we've got neon tetras. And this is a fish that I've kept before. And people have asked me before if they were saltwater fish just because of how colorful they are. Just these tanks have so much potential. And I'm really excited to do this project. So I also have a Facebook page, Something Fishy, and a group called The Offish. You're welcome to join those if you so desire. What I do on those is I post species profiles So all of the information that you would need to know in order to keep all of these endangered species. And then bit by bit, I hope to use that for people who I send these fish to that I've bred. And that way, the more knowledge we have, the more we can compile and the better we understand these fish. I also have an Instagram page, Something Fishy. I personally suggest that you recommend that because Instagram is where I am best at. But I think that's pretty much it. This is just supposed to be a short introductory video, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you!